adapting new technology or introducing new technology, there are incredible barriers to entry. You know, to take a new power plant design and put it into the grid is an insurmountable phase. And it doesn't matter what is the technology that's driving that, you know, especially if it's something that's grid scale for capabilities. And what's really needed is a place to actually evaluate different types of technology. Because if you look at Massachusetts, our energy production has been hollowed out. You know, it used to be there was a lot of coal power plants, they're all being shut down. People are trying to convert it to natural gas, and it's not getting very far. So we need to look into other technologies that are non-fossil fuel based to do energy production. The other thing I wanted to talk about is for, you know, an example of adoption issues is there's actually a proposal in Marlborough to do a light rail-based transportation. It's privately funded. We're thinking of doing a pilot basically between New England Sports Center and Solomon Pond, just going back and forth to alleviate lunch traffic for the ice skating rinks. But there's a big opportunity to use that technology within Marlborough, kind of expanded throughout the city, you know, focusing on destinations and hotels where visitors come to visit the city, and it can be a situation where they park their cars at the hotels and they don't need to use their cars otherwise, and that could be possible within Marlborough within a couple of years. Biggest obstacle is actually wires, the old, you know, above ground wiring. So the opportunity to really address this actually may require a lot of the wire in Marlborough to go underground, which, you know, there may be a funding model to do that, but we get into a situation, how do we demonstrate and prove technology, and how can the state help with this? Because this would have a huge impact on transportation emissions costs. By the way, on June 1st, there will be a talk in Marlborough at the First Baptist Church, and I'll send you both the information about it. I hope you guys could attend as well. Thank you.
Laura Zamaro. Carl. Hello.
I'm going to cut out the entire middle of it. Lana Zamaro here, speaking on behalf of the League of Women Voters of Massachusetts. So the League is supporting several environmental bills this session, and we're going to be submitting testimony for all those bills. We agree that there's no silver bullet, but we also feel, and we're going to try to focus on bills that we see as kind of foundational to a clean energy future. Bills such as the Global Warming Solutions Act, legislation actually, and also things like Renewable Portfolio Standard. But what I really wanted to comment on tonight was to thank you personally and your senators who are not here tonight, virtually through you, for this opportunity to meet, have your constituents meet with you in person so you can hear what they have to say. This is refreshingly different from what we're seeing at the congressional level, where they're not even holding town meetings, and my personal favorite, catching certain members of Congress trying to escape out the back door on videotape from a town hall meeting, so thank you very much for that. For the League, this is what democracy looks like. I'm going to just quickly close by saying that the League, sometimes people are surprised that we're in this space, but we've been advocating for meaningful climate legislation since the 1960s. And we're looking, and we see climate change legislation as a basic function of good government. That is our government working on behalf of the public welfare through a democratic process. But speaking to the rising engagement that we're seeing across the country, that engagement is only going to be maintained if people feel that using the democratic process, showing up, results in action through state legislatures. So I want to thank you very much again for this opportunity, and
thank you.
Godspeed.
The last person on the list is Leslie Lone from Sudbury. Leslie?
Hello, thank you for the opportunity for this hearing. This is wonderful, but I have nothing to add, so we can go home.
That was perfect, Leslie.
We love you, Leslie.
So we reached the end of the public hearing and testimony. Thank you so much for coming, and I'd like to give a big round of applause to Senator Pacheco for organizing this.
I'm just gonna just make some closing remarks and turn it back over to your senator here to close out the evening, and I want to begin by thanking him again for agreeing to host us and wanting to be, insisting to be on the Climate Change Committee. As I know he's been advocating to do that for a number of years, and he's been such a great leader to work with. And we have a number of members on the Climate Committee, but it's not a huge committee. So I want you to understand it's not like the Commonwealth Conversations scenario that we went through before. Some of you may have attended. We had as many as half the Senate that attended a lot of these meetings. This is much more focused in terms of the discussion, obviously, that we had tonight, so we could drill down into this space and really start to focus on these issues. One thing that wasn't talked about a great deal tonight, a few of you mentioned it, but I think it's very important. The least expensive kilowatt hour that you can have, or the kilowatt that produces the least amount of carbon emissions, is the one you don't have at all. And a lot of people look at this issue, whether it's 100% or renewables, or you name the bill, that we've got to do it off of the base we have right now, the base load we have right now. And that's not true, because we have only scratched the surface of reducing the base load in Massachusetts. About 40% is in the transportation sector, about 40% is in the built environment. We can be doing much more in the energy efficiency sector of the economy, with the built environment, with new construction, with planning for new buildings that come online. And yes, many of the buildings that we live in right now were constructed way back when, and they will be there, several years, and 30, 40 years from now. But we need to begin a process of aggressively getting into that area and reducing the baseload energy that we utilize. There are a number of companies out there that are helping to put in place things called power shedding or demand response technologies to lower the peaking of energy across our system, across the state and across the country. So I want to let you know that a lot of these ideas that we heard tonight are included in a bill that I filed and the senators co-sponsored, an omnibus bill. And it is not finished. It is only a placeholder omnibus bill that we could put under one title. And we're looking for these ideas that we hear throughout different meetings that we're going to be holding and other engagement that we have. So we may be able to put together a bill at the end of the day that is comprehensive, deals with a number of issues that we can focus on together. Now that may not work. We may still see the divisions of go after this bill. I don't care about the other bill. We want to do this, A instead of B, or B instead of C. And I can tell you that has been a problem over the years in trying to get environmental legislation done. So I'm hoping that throughout this process and throughout the hearing process, whatever bills come over from the House, that we may, at the end of the day, be able to take the best ideas and put it into a comprehensive vehicle so we can have everybody take their energy and effort and focus on getting that done. And so, you know, this is still part of the beginning of this session. This is only the second meeting on the tour that we're going to have. We started out announcing that we're going to have 9. Our office is being inundated from calls from people in central Massachusetts, it is, Serena, right? Central Mass, saying we don't have a good stop there, and so we're going to have to reach out to, we will not have to, we want to reach out to our colleagues in the central part of the state to look for a location there, and I'm sure there'll be a couple of others that will come along as well. But we want to listen as much as possible. This was fantastic tonight. So I just want to congratulate each and every one of you for being here. As I said, you know, last night on the Cape, and somebody just said, I think the leader from the League of Women Voters may have said it, you know, this is what democracy looks like. And so I want to congratulate you for being here. Let us work together, not just listening as we're doing tonight, and you giving us suggestions, but let's try to create a little bit more of a dialogue as we go forward, so that we can work together on whatever we feel is going to have the best shot of getting us to where we, I think collectively here, what I've heard is we all want to be, right? I mean, hands up, anybody that didn't touch, everybody want to move to a clean energy future? Everybody? All right, good. Well, let's do that together. Thank you. And we'll give it to the Senator.
I can't add to that, Senator Pacheco. Thank you, since you're from Taunton, for recognizing that Sudbury is not part of central Massachusetts. Thanks everyone for coming. Have a good night. Be in touch.